What's up, guys? Quick shout out to Salty Water. My favorite flavor personally is lemon lime. There is no sugars, no caffeine, and no carbonation, and it tastes amazing. It's available right now on Amazon, so go purchase it and hydrate your inner warrior.
Danny Silva, welcome to Basement Talk. I'm excited to have you. It's been a long time coming. I'm super excited that you're here.
Fresh off a
Bloodline.
win.
Fresh off a win. Unbelievable win. That was incredible. Tell us a little bit about that night. That was crazy. Amazing.
Well, I mean, I'm happy to be here with you guys. Like you said, it's been a long time trying to make this happen. The win was interesting for me because I haven't fought in over a year. I'm coming off an injury. I missed weight last time, my UFC debut. So I feel like I had a little bit of pressure on me to perform, and he just beat another prospect. So we knew that he was a pretty tough fight for me. But yeah, I went and did what I had to do.
Were you surprised it was a split decision?
Yeah, I thought I for sure won 2 rounds. That third round, I had injured my hand, so I kind of cruised it a little bit more, but I still don't think that he dominated me or anything for him to win the fight. So I was like, yeah.
How was the camp leading up to it?
Too long, in my opinion.
When did you start? Like, how many weeks out?
Well, I was coming off an injury, so I was already training since last August. When I was supposed to fight, they gave me stem cells. I got ready. I was basically ready since December.
I remember that. We were anticipating your fight before that, and then I remember something happened last minute. Was it the ankle?
Yeah, my right
You
ankle.
were wrestling, right? You were saying? You're telling me? That was pretty fluke
Unlucky.
accident.
It's fucked.
Yeah, it's the first time I've ever had to pull out of a fight. So, a lot of people thought that I didn't want to take the fight with the opponent that I had, but it was due to an injury that I had to pull out. So.
And then you trained. I noticed you went to Jackson Wing, right?
Yeah, I had
Trained
gone
with
to
Dan?
Jackson Wing. Yeah.
So did you go? So you had the fight previous when you obviously you had the fight now, but previously did you train here in Orange County and then go to Jackson Wing and then you got hurt, or you got hurt out here and you were always here?
No, so I came back from Jackson Wing and I was coming back out here to finish my camp, and I was trying to push a little bit harder that week that I had came back. And I remember Cub telling me to pull back a little bit. He's like, "Oh, you're already in shape. You did like 2 weeks in Jackson Wing. You don't need to keep pushing harder." And I'm like, I feel better if I go and wrestle. And
Dang,
that's crazy.
I got injured.
did Cub do like the "I told you so"?
Nah.
He's
it just happens, So it's not like he doesn't want to be right.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Nobody does.
What does your training look like, though? How often are you like lifting, running? What does it look like on a weekly basis?
So I do strength and conditioning twice a week, Tuesdays and Fridays, and then we basically light spar and go over ideas Monday through Thursday, and then Friday we go hard, and then Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday we do jiu-jitsu, and then I bring guys to wrestle with me now at the UFC gym, guys that I trust that could take care of me and are gonna, try to like kick my ass just because I'm in the UFC, like try to really hurt me. Because where I got injured was at the college, and most people want to like fight there. So we go hard all the time. We'll headbutt each other, and it's fine. But at this point, I'm like, you guys are not gonna pay for my camp, so I need to take care of myself.
Yeah,
And bring guys that are gonna,
lot?
yeah. Huh?
Does that happen a lot?
Yeah, it happens a lot.
Just because you're in the UFC, you feel like you have a target on your back when you're in gyms?
I would do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I was in college and I saw a UFC fighter come in, I would definitely try to go hard with him.
Give you like an ego boost.
100%.
How often are people going into Bloodline and just trying to crack someone?
They've tried, yeah, but they get checked quick.
They get jumped.
Yeah,
They get
they
knocked.
get
Doesn't last
Yeah,
long.
but you guys are pretty. You're not strict, but you guys are very selective on who trains with you guys.
Yeah,
especially like on Fridays, you guys have your sparring.
Yeah.
Not everyone's gonna be in there, and like it's not just that anyone can do it because you guys would just
Yeah.
kill them, but like I think Cub is very selective, right, on who's training with you guys because that's very important is the injury prevention.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not gonna. We've been. There's other coaches that have reached out to us and have told us to like, hey, let my student come in, and we kind of know who they are or what they've done, or like word for mouth, like a little bit of the rep. So that's how kind of like we don't let a lot of people come in because we hear a lot of stuff. MMA community is pretty small, to be honest.
It is, and I think you guys are lucky because having a coach like Cub, who's still fighting and at the age he's at, he knows how to keep fighting.
His last fight,
like he knows how you guys should keep training, keep your body healthy. Like there's nobody better, I think, as like a person to like mentor you guys than Cub.
Yeah, I agree. Cub, he's literally an OG.
Yes.
So it's we're, to be honest, we're lucky to have him, and we're kind of guided by him, and he's kind of letting us do what we have to do, but keeping us in a pretty good path.
Okay, so now I want to talk about your life, like your upbringing. Let's talk about your family, where you grew up. Like, tell us a little bit about your life, like growing up as a kid.
OC.
Yeah, well, I grew up in Santa Ana, in Orange County, and my brothers wrestled. My family, they come from like a boxing side of my mom's side of the family, so they enjoy boxing. They enjoy fighting. They had me boxing at the age of 4.
Wow.
So I've been boxing for a really long time.
What were you doing at 4? Like just like pad work? Young?
Yeah.
Sparring 4-year-olds.
Sparring.
I'll be either.
That's crazy though.
They'll be having me spar my cousins or hitting the bag. They'll give me weights in my hands so I could be shadow boxing with them.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And you always loved it.
I guess so. I really looked up to my brothers and like my family because they all liked it. So I kind of just wanted to fit in, and I feel like I kind of grew into loving it a lot more. I felt like I was a little bit more timid as a kid, fighting with my cousins. I would get scared, but growing up, it kind of just getting into many fights with them, that kind of just got out of me, and I'm like, at this point, it's just kind of like whatever's.
And your brothers were, I believe they were wrestlers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So did they do boxing as well, or they were just only wrestling?
They did boxing too, so they showed me a lot. But because of my dad wasn't around in the family, they decided to do wrestling in high school, in Santa Ana High School. So my older brother became, he was ranked 2nd in the state and 15 in the nation. My middle brother was like a league champion, was pretty good too. And yeah, they chose wrestling over boxing and MMA. Gilbert Melendez was in the year ahead of them in Santa Ana.
Yeah.
So,
What's the age gap between you guys?
15 years.
Dang, dude.
Wow.
So you're not messing with them.
No,
when you're young.
No, they will beat me up.
Wait, when you were 4, they were like 20.
No, obviously not like that age. I'm saying I'm talking about like, did they train with you though, or
Yeah.
they must be they're so proud of you. I bet right now they're like your biggest fans, huh?
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say they're like my biggest fans, but they definitely.
Kyler's my biggest fan.
That's cap.
You know.
Dude, no one's laughing, dude.
I laugh.
All right, whatever.
All right, keep going.
Did they have any dreams of going into the UFC or anything like that?
I mean, the UFC was kind of relatively new for us because we grew up with boxing.
Yeah.
So we just kind of knew Cain Velasquez. We knew like,
Dude,
I know.
we should talk
about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, keep going.
But we knew like guys like that, Henry Cejudo. But they thought boxing for sure they could have done it. I wanted to be a boxer, and then I don't know. I guess MMA just was meant for me, so I just ended up doing that instead.
When did you start wrestling? You said you started boxing. When did that come into play?
Wrestling, I started at 8.
Dang.
but but it was like on and off. So not until high school is where I got a little bit more committed, and having my brothers with me, they were always constantly helping me. So I feel like it made me into a better wrestler. But I felt a little bit burned out in high school. I don't know. I was too caught up with trying to be a cool kid in high school and not really focused too much. Yeah, I was caught up with all that stuff. So
Did you
not
ever get
until
into
after.
some street fights in high school or any like random fights?
Yeah, we used to get in fights all the time. Yeah, it was fun.
What was a memorable one?
We actually we walked across my house to one of my friends' house, and we just fought in the backyard just because.
Were you 4?
No, we were in high school.
Yeah.
No, this is high school. But this was like a more of a friendly like ego thing, because if we fought like street fighting, we were gonna be putting on the gloves. We would be fighting like right there.
Yeah.
But this one, the only reason why I remember this one is because he passed away. We ended up becoming friends afterwards. But he was a pretty legit boxer. Like, he fought in the amateurs. He even brought his amateur gloves.
Dang.
And I thought that I was gonna kick his ass so bad because I felt like I was pretty good at boxing at that time. And I'm like, there's no way this kid could beat me. And I felt like it was a pretty even fight the whole entire time. And I was getting frustrated because I couldn't just whip him.
Yeah.
And I was like, who is this guy?
Who is this guy?
Oh
You
my
thought he
That's
was
crazy.
You didn't know he was an amateur? at
No,
the
I didn't know
time?
he was an amateur,
was
but he brought his gloves, and I was like, oh shit.
Fuck, that's crazy.
Holy shit.
Did it get to the point where people stopped fucking with you after they knew you were training and stuff like
Yeah,
that?
well, they saw both of us fight, and then they were like, oh, these guys could fight. And,
Yeah.
we were pretty even the whole time, and I always had respect towards him. But yeah, sadly, he passed away a few years ago. He got in a car crash.
Dang,
Oh
rest in
my.
peace.
Yeah.
Damn.
But yeah, that was like one that I remember because of all the stuff that we went through. But yeah, we used to get in street fights all the time. It was
Santa Ana, too.
What's like the best thing for a street fight? What would you like for advice for me?
headbutt.
Headbutt?
Headbutt?
Really?
Yeah.
I never thought about that.
How many times did
How do you even
headbutted
like do
someone?
Bro,
that? Like,
I've broken so many fucking guys'
Really?
noses. Yeah.
Oh my god.
What about
Aren't you like ringing after that?
Dude, I
though?
feel like my head would hurt so bad. I'm a lover.
Bro,
dude.
look, I got
I'm
fucking
not a-
Neanderthal forehead.
He's been boxing since he was 4. It's like
no, he's
built
been
up.
headbutting since he was 4.
That's interesting though, because I remember we had another fighter on. I can't remember who
Wilkes.
specific. Was it Wilkes? That
Yeah,
said it?
Yeah.
He was
James
like,
Wilkes.
James?
no, I don't think it was Wilkes.
Yeah,
It
it
was
He taught us how to
taught me how to
headbutt.
headbutt.
No, that's not where I'm going with this.
Oh,
he was
where are you going?
He was saying like anything goes in a street fight. Like you can freaking
Yeah.
kick their balls. You can kick
Yeah.
like anything. Like who said that to us?
Bro, I'm
Someone
biting
did, yeah.
someone. If somebody,
Biting. Like
Yeah.
he said anything.
Zach's going for the balls.
Yo, chill.
Like, what the
Street fight or not.
yeah.
dude? What?
street fight,
I'm in an amateur fight. I
crazy.
just kick him in the cup.
Damn,
wild.
dude. That's crazy. What would you say then? Like at such a young age, you're boxing at 4, you're wrestling at 8, you're so young. What would you say to someone like that comes to you today? Like, hey, Danny, what should I start training to do? Like, should I start with jiu-jitsu, wrestling, boxing? What is your advice to like an up and coming guy or like someone that wants to start out in mixed martial arts?
well, definitely in boxing, I would say, like something that is, like, I don't know. I think that would be like a good type of like fundamentals to understand. It helps you understand, I think, eventually like MMA, boxing and wrestling. I feel like are two. For me, I feel like you could do so much with just 2 of those like arts, like jiu-jitsu. I think I like jiu-jitsu, but if you're a good grappler, you don't have to be a good jiu-jitsu player. You could just be a good grappler. So as long as you understand grappling, you don't need to be like the best jiu-jitsu player. So for MMA, I think having boxing and wrestling, which is going to help you with grappling, and having the fundamentals to moving your feet for MMA, I think those 2 are like the best.
And you think like in your career now, would you change anything or go back? Would you say? Because like I feel like everyone's always like there's a specific formula
I feel like it's mainly wrestling.
No.
No, I hear that. They're like specific, like,
Oh, like
okay, I'm going to put my son to do jiu-jitsu this day of week to that
Yeah.
day of week. I feel like, I don't know.
like
What would
spread
you
it
say
out.
in your career now? Would you do anything different?
What would you do for your son?
Well, I think I would have him do a couple years of just boxing, and then a couple years of doing just wrestling, and then trying to introduce them together, so he could be able to blend them in together. But yeah, I wouldn't want him to be doing really back and forth too many arts. I think it'll be too confusing for him.
Can't focus.
Yeah,
You see the
can't focus.
NCAA?
Yeah.
That was crazy.
What happened?
Well,
Biggest upset.
Gable Stevenson lost.
Dang.
And
actually
AJ got in
crazy.
third.
Yeah.
That's pretty nuts.
We should go back to Kane too real quick because that was pretty relevant. I mean, that was crazy. What do you think about all of that
Was
happening?
it 5 years?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
5 years. 5 years he's going to prison. But I think he'll probably be out in like a year from
Good
what,
behavior.
from what I understand. But still, it's dude,
Everybody's saying like
crazy.
Trump has to pardon him and all that stuff. It's
Yeah.
just a
But man, it's like
nutty
he did
situation.
attempt murder, right? So it's like, but
it was
also
crazy
it's
because we
valid.
just saw him like a month ago.
yeah.
Yeah.
And me
You
and
guys
Roger.
went out there?
Yeah, we filmed a podcast with him. I think it was like 5 months ago now.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Five,
But then we
6
went
months.
you guys went a month
Five,
ago.
6 months ago. And then a month ago, me and Roger went back for the bare knuckle boxing
Oh, that's right.
for one of
not
the
out
shows.
yet.
It's not out yet. That footage isn't out, but he is like super like peaceful, and he's kind of like, it's not, you could tell, you could see in his eyes that he's just trying to enjoy every moment, like enjoy
Yeah.
life. He was happy. His son was there. They were hanging out.
It's
A lot of
sad.
the fighters were there. We went to AKA, but like it's just crazy seeing him all over the news, and it's crazy because the life he lives, he's like secluded. He's
Yeah.
in Gilroy, like in the middle of like the forest, and he has his house. He's private. It's pretty wild. I just hope he does okay, and I know nobody's gonna mess with him in jail. That's
Nah,
for sure.
yeah.
Oh, could
I'm
you
sure he'll
imagine,
get
bro?
recognized too.
Oh, for sure. I
That
bet
would be pretty
everyone's gonna
crazy.
love him though.
Yeah.
He's such a
Yeah.
such a likable guy.
Yeah.
They'd love Zach in there too.
Everyone loves him.
All the Hispanic people love him.
Yeah. No, he's amazing.
No, he's a legend for
But
sure.
now,
Imagine fucking with
now
Kane.
I want to talk about you like starting a fight structurally. Like, when did you find UFC gym Costa Mesa? Because I hear from the other guys that you were like a prospect from that specific gym. Am I right?
No, not necessarily. I came from a gym called Thomas Ellie Academy, and
Yes. Okay, I remember that.
Yeah.
I think you told me about this.
so I came from there, and they used to be in Costa Mesa. They're now in Santa Ana on Main. But Thomas Ellie, he would bring Marco Huas on Fridays, and he would run like a sparring class for MMA. I first had gone in like when I was 18, 19. And I went in because I wanted to do like jiu-jitsu.
He's the Brazilian guy, right?
Marco?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's the king of the streets. He was
I've
like,
been to his. I went to his house with Dougie once.
yeah. To do
On Christmas Day.
pads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's crazy. He punched me. I don't know why.
But he's big.
He has the hardest leg kicks too.
Yeah, he was a heavyweight champion, and there was no weight class.
You know what's
or something.
funny?
I don't know.
After really quick, I'm gonna go off topic. After he met me, he's like asking me, he's like, "Hey, can you come do video for me at my house?" And he followed me on Instagram, and I'm like, "Holy shit!" He has a lot of followers, and Christmas Day, and Dougie's at the house. I showed Dougie, and Dougie's like, "What the fuck? He doesn't even follow me." Dougie was all mad.
He was all mad.
Yeah, he's like, he was just choking me out for 1 hour. He doesn't even follow me.
No, for sure that
Because
would
he would literally put Dougie in the worst move, and Dougie'd go, and then he'd do it again, some different move. He'd go, he was just beating Dougie up.
Yeah, nah, he's crazy strong. Dude.
Yeah.
He there's like crazy stories that I've seen him do stuff, and like at the UFC Costa Mesa, all the OnlyFans chicks are watching him. He would get on the leg press. He stacks everything up, puts like more 45s on top, and he's just like leg pressing that thing like nothing. Like,
Dude, he has
and
the
people are like
biggest
staring at him.
legs.
Like, what is wrong with this dude?
OnlyFans
He's
chicks
got
are
the
going
biggest
crazy.
legs.
Yeah,
It's crazy. But yeah, no. So he was at the gym, and
Yeah.
then
So Marco was there, and I was just going to go try out the school, just maybe do some competition with jiu-jitsu. And they invited me to do sparring, so I went, and Marco thought I was doing good. I sparred a couple other coaches. I was able to do really good against them. He told me to come back the following Friday, and he introduced me to Kami, which he became later my manager and was a Cubs manager. And he eventually passed away a few years ago. But so he introduced me to Cub, and he's the one that got me into MMA, and it was all through Marco.
Wow.
So
And talk about your first interaction with Cub, or what did you know about Cub before joining, like, that gym? What did you think about him? Were you a fan of his?
I wasn't really too familiar with like I said, I wasn't too familiar with MMA, but I knew of Cub. But we always talked about him as like the guy with the palm trees, because he has his tattoos.
SoCal?
Yeah, and he was always bald too. So we always remembered him like that. And just because I wasn't a big fan of the UFC or MMA in general. Like I didn't even know who Marco was. I had to look him up.
That's crazy.
That's crazy, yeah.
It was just because I grew up in the boxing side of the family, my family, and I could tell you any name from there, but MMA, it was just like, oh, I need to do my research, like my history I need to catch up. But with Cub, when I first met him, it was cool. He didn't want to I don't know. I always felt like he was really cool, and I didn't want to I don't know, step on his shoes or anything. Like I didn't want to upset him, because he was always so stoic, and I just didn't want to mess with him all the time. But I would try to push him as an amateur. I wanted for him to notice me that I was pretty good, and yeah.
That's awesome. Were you ever nervous to just tag him in the face, like he was gonna hit you back?
Yeah, so he would.
You know what I mean, though?
Yeah. So he does this thing where he puts his hand down and he's all hit me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. And then he's all a little bit harder, and I'm like, all right. And then a little bit harder, and then I hit him a little bit harder, and he's all okay. He's all that's where you could hit. You're that's how hard you could hit me.
Okay.
And I'm like, all right. So he established this how hard I could hit him, and then I could go from there.
Does he do that for you, or he just cracks you? No, I'm kidding.
No. Well, when I first met him, he would do that, but he would go a little bit harder, and I'll be like, man.
Yeah. Dan Argueta said he just cracked him once, in practice.
Yeah, for sure.
He said it was the hardest punch he's ever felt.
Was it Cub? I forgot about that.
He said Cub hit me the hardest. He said he was super hungover.
Oh, damn.
Oh, yeah.
And he went to the gym the next day, and Cub cracked him, and he's still drunk or something.
He's done that to me too. When I first was turned pro, I was maybe 3-0 or 4-0. I used to party a lot, and I would show up super hungover, and he would be close to making me throw up. He would hit me in the stomach so bad. Yeah, I remember one time I was on the floor, and he just faked to hit me right on top, and I covered up, and he hit me straight in the stomach, and I was like,
Kane's chicken finger flew out of your mouth.
Oh, yeah, dude, it was bad.
What's the hardest you've been hit?
This boxer, professional boxer named Bully Beck. He used to be undefeated, but he's a silver medalist in the Olympics.
Bully Beck?
Yeah, he lost to Gabriel Rosado. They were trying to get him to fight Triple G. But I've seen him knock out heavyweights, and he drops everybody. He hit me so hard in the liver, I swear I felt it for 3 hours later.
Oh my!
Do you think though there's a actual technique or art to getting that power, or do some people just have power that you can't explain? Like Pereira, for example.
Yeah. Well, I think there's multiple ways of having power. I think having a good whip on your punches can create enough of a pop to knock you out. Being fast enough, getting hit with punches that you don't see, can drop you. And then there's people that just have a really hard, heavy punch like Pereira, then they will drop you too. So it just depends.
Some of his look fake, where he just
hits people, and they
Looks like
like
slow
one of his
motion.
last fight, I think 2 fights ago, I forgot who it was. It looks slow motion
Yeah.
almost, but the guy still was, it's like cracked.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
So so now you're training with like with Kami and Cub and all those boys, and are you a professional?
I was an
at that-
amateur.
So you're still an amateur.
Yeah. So I was an amateur for a whole year, and that whole
How
year,
did that experience go? The fighting amateur. How did that?
it was all mental for sure. Because we were fighting. Each round was 3 minutes. Professional round is 5 minutes each, so it's a 15-minute fight. But amateur, it's 3 minutes each round. It's like a 6-minute fight. It's barely even a round in a professional fight. So it's a sprint, and I was always afraid that I was gonna gas out, that I wasn't gonna have enough cardio, and so going into pros, that was also kind of scary. Like, oh man, one of these rounds is basically the whole fight that I've been kind of doing. So I don't know. It was a cool experience. It was definitely, I think, less technical, but it gets that fear out of the way of having those nerves.
So
in
what
the
was
fight.
that? What was that jump? Like, how did you know? Okay, you're ready to go into pro from the amateurs. Like, who dictates that for your career? Who did that?
Well, Kami did that for me, so I trusted him. He was my head coach, and Cub seconded him. So, if they told me that I was ready, I was ready. I wasn't.
And
gonna
then what
argue
was
with
the
them.
next fight you had? Like your first professional fight, was it the LFA?
No, it was a promotion for Fight Pass, for UFC Fight Pass, CFFC.
Okay.
So they had my pro debut, and I was in the Fight Pass against Johnny Soto, who they were trying to like build up because he was undefeated, was like an amateur champion or something like that, and he was supposed to be a good grappler. Yeah, I went in there, I finished him in the third. So.
That's crazy.
Have you ever thought about it now with like the math of where you're at in the ranking? I don't know if you've like how the rankings exactly work, but like how many fights you'd have to win to get in maybe top 10 or top 5. Like where do you stand right now within that process?
I think I'm maybe, depends on what type of fights I get. I think maybe 3 or 4.
3 or 4 fights and you're like right there, right?
I saw on
I
the
watched it.
post-fight press conference that you had after the last one, you said you want 3 more fights this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 4 is the best number, right, for a fighter in a year.
Yeah,
4 is
yeah.
like the best.
That's like you're pretty active.
That's badass.
Do you think you'll crack the top 15 by the end of the year if you get those 3 fights?
Probably.
Yeah.
I think so.
Hell yeah.
And Dana wants to see a show, dude. And you're always putting on a show because,
You're good with the antics too.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
100%.
good. No, it's really good.
What do you think's like something that you haven't shown the fans in the octagon yet that you have in like your bag that hasn't come out yet in a fight?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like I show a lot in the room in sparring, and I think about it. I'm like, man, I could show all this stuff in a fight, but sometimes it comes out, sometimes it doesn't. It's depends too, because it takes 2 to tango. So it depends on my opponent, what he kind of brings out of me. If he's able to like pressure me, I'm able to counter a little bit more. It makes the fight a little bit more exciting. But if they play it safe, sometimes I play safe when they're playing too much safe, because then, I don't want to be chasing the fight the whole entire time, and it kind of, I don't know.
Like playing into their
Yeah,
game
you're playing
plan?
into their game. It's hard because it kind of makes you look like a fool for a second, and you kind of don't want to look like that in front of the
Yeah.
judges. You're like,
100%.
So
Who do you think the best guy to show your skill set is going to be like for your next fight?
So I called out Nate the Train, and he's I think
Nate
maybe
the Train.
Yeah,
he's
I
like
saw
in
that.
the top 20s, I think.
That's a dust nickname. I don't fuck with
Yeah,
that.
that's
I know.
pretty bad. It's actually
And he
terrible.
he
Just
has
don't say that to him; he'll kill you.
Yeah,
he has a crazy style. He just brawls with you
Yeah.
the whole time, and I think a type of fighter like that is he out toughs people. He gets dropped, and people gas out, and then he keeps coming, and then he finishes you.
Yeah.
So he's that type of fighter, and I think I want a fight where I'm like I have to dig deep, and I think that's the type of fight where I get to show a lot of my skills.
That'd be awesome. Who who do you think, like, if you were to make like the perfect UFC card for you to be on, like a perfect matchup, or even like a UFC card that's coming up, what would it be?
That what fighters are gonna be in there,
Yeah.
and who am I gonna fight?
Like, do you want to
The
be
whole
like,
card, Zach?
no, just like
I
the
know, I'm
main,
like-
Holy shit.
20 matches.
I'm like,
like Jones Aspinall, Danny's on the card, like something like that,
Dude.
or like even like a city that you'd want it to be in.
That'd be cool.
It's kind
well,
of a
for
tough
sure.
one.
Like I think the Honda Center for me has been like my dream since I was a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I did. I went to a gym when I was like 8 called No Limits, and my coach at the time fought in the Honda Center. So I was like 8 or 7, and seeing him fight there was like, man, one day I want to fight right there too. So it was really cool. And when, you know, the UFC has come down to a Honda Center a couple of times, I'm always thinking about like, man, it'll be cool one day I could headline that.
That just reminded me too, because Tony Ferguson's from Santa Ana as well. You guys trained with him, right? How was that?
Yeah, I've trained with him once or twice. Yeah, he's
Recently too, right?
Uh,
Somewhat.
Look,
Maybe
no,
a year
yeah.
ago.
half a year ago.
yeah,
right?
like half a year ago.
Still recent. You know?
Richie definitely trained a lot more with him. But I got to train with him a little bit, and I mean, I could see why he was like
Losing?
so tricky for a lot of guys. A lot of guys, yeah,
Oh.
dude, he's so long, and he's so good, and he's so like crafty.
He's unpredictable,
Yeah,
right?
he's unpredictable.
Was he on edge at all? A lot of people say when he's in the gym, he's always like looking around, thinking there's people spying on him and shit like
No,
that. I
no.
see
Does
all
he
those-
say
yeah.
that?
I've heard that from like people that train with him. He's like always looking over his shoulder. He like kicks a random person out of the gym. because
He's
he thinks they're,
He's
like,
fighting
spying on
Dylan
him.
Dennis, right?
Dennis, yeah.
Yeah, was it GFL?
Yeah.
What
That's
is
gonna
that?
That's gonna be crazy.
I heard that league is kind of sketchy.
Dude, they need to
I
just
know.
make
Where are they
Tony.
getting the investors?
I
from?
heard a bunch of fighters who were like on the list for that came out and said, I never signed up for this too. I
I
saw a
thought
bunch of stuff.
KSI was on there too.
No.
There's something.
What are you talking
No,
about?
KSI was gonna fight Dennis too.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh wait, he was. He just
Yeah.
pulled out of it.
KSI said he got a cold.
I think Tony will beat Dylan though, right?
no, Dylan's
no.
pretty good
I
on the
think
ground.
I think he's
Tell me if I'm
washed.
wrong, Danny, but like when you start getting, I mean, you wouldn't know obviously, but like I feel like when you start getting knocked out like that, your brain wants to almost protect itself. Like so, you almost, gosh, if that's happening to you, like you got to put the gloves down.
Yeah, because you don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you don't know. It's and that's where the ego comes in a lot. You know, when you don't,
You don't
know how
know when
to
to stop.
Yeah, you don't know when to stop. Like you're just like, let me fight again. I'll show you. And
I don't think Goggins helped that for him either. Probably boosted his ego.
What
even
about
crazier.
what about Giga? He's been training with you guys.
Yeah.
How is that? He's awesome.
dude, he's awesome. Yeah, he's
a ninja.
yeah, he's definitely a ninja. He has some crazy kicks.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
He has some
I like
crazy
going with
stuff.
him. I think he likes going with me too. And he said that it'll be nice for us to work together. I want to help him out for his fight coming up. Yeah, just get him ready.
You
Why-
guys are in the
why-
same division too,
Why
right?
why
Yeah.
is he not training at Kings?
I don't
Or
know.
I don't know.
I wouldn't know. I mean,
Yeah.
I wouldn't ask him, but
No, I
I'm
know.
assuming that maybe
'Cause I'm
he wants
happy.
something different.
Yeah.
At his
I'm-
career now.
It's good for him and you
I'm
guys.
happy to see him with you guys. I like him a lot.
Yeah,
He's
He's a
amazing.
good guy.
He's
We've
a
had
nice-
him
He
on
just
the
lost
pod.
his last fight too, which sucks.
Yeah, but he looked really sharp.
He
Yeah.
did.
He looked good that fight.
Is it Arnold Allen?
Actually,
Yeah.
no,
I don't
he
know.
I think he got kind of dominated, if I remember a little bit.
It's just a tricky matchup. I
Is
think.
Allen? Was that Allen?
I don't remember his
Yeah,
opponent.
I'll
I
see.
think it was Allen. I'm
Because
pretty
if it
sure.
was Allen,
I'll tell you right
Allen's
now.
right now at
He's on a hot streak.
Yeah, he's definitely in his prime and should be fighting soon for a title too. But
Yeah.
How old are you right now, Danny?
I just turned 28.
When do
You're
you
young.
think
Still
you're
got
in
a
your
lot of fight
prime
left.
yet, or when?
I don't think so.
Dude, fighters get in their prime and they're like,
Yeah, like
I
30,
think early
earlier,
30s.
Like
middle,
33 is
30s.
like,
Yeah.
Dude,
your
Danny's
season.
gonna be top
Yeah.
5.
but he's
only
also
title
you've been
shot.
training your whole life, so it's like
Yeah.
some people start at like 20.
I know. I was like, when is my prime? You know?
Yeah.
He was like 4 years old.
years
I'm-
old.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find this.
I
pretty
definitely feel
crazy.
like I'm still learning. So I don't know. I feel like I'm barely becoming even a man right now. So
Yeah.
I'm
That's
not
how it
until I'm
works,
like
though.
in my early 30s and mid 30s when I'm gonna feel like, oh, I think I could say
That's
I'm a
probably the
man.
cool thing about
Yeah,
training
Allen.
with guys like Giga and Tony
Yeah.
Ferguson, because you get to pick up so much stuff where you're like, I didn't even know that.
Dude, look at Cub. You know, just
Yeah.
knocking out a
Bro,
young
yeah,
guy.
at his age,
That knockout was.
That
like-
was wild.
like the
We were
LeBron
going
of
crazy
MMA.
at the house.
bro's still doing it.
Oh my gosh.
That was
No,
that
we were
was
going
crazy.
nuts when
That
you
was-
knocked him out.
What
was
is that
so
feeling
crazy.
like though too? Going from like the LFA, you get into
Or not LFA. You're in the. I'm forgetting the name, right?
no, but
He was
in
you
LFA
were
after
in
that.
LFA.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
To like
okay.
getting that UFC
That was before
call up.
UFC. You were in LFA.
How did that feel? Or what was that moment? Where were you? Explain that moment.
When I
Got called into the UFC.
Well, I got a notice to fight in the Contenders first, from LFA to the Contenders. That was crazy for me, you know.
But how did that feel? That must have been.
I got
So-
emotional. Like I was trying to keep it under control, just because, man, I feel like I've been through a lot, and getting that message and that call from Cub and him telling me like, hey, you're gonna fight this dude. It's gonna be in the Contenders, you know. I don't know if I think Cub didn't think I was ready yet, but if I won that fight, I think he was gonna be like, okay, you're ready for the UFC yet. You're ready for the UFC now. So I was able to like kind of like harness all those nerves, and when I went out there and I won, I felt more like, okay, I feel ready. I'm trusting Cub. I feel ready for the UFC, because that's always very like pretty scary, thinking about, am I ready for the best guys in the world? You know,
Yeah.
like fighting local guys, like fighting guys from Santa Ana, fighting guys from Orange County. Like, yeah, I don't care. But now you're fighting specific guys that are getting pulled out of countries to fight. You know, like they're the best dudes from their region.
It's a
you
crazy
know?
jump.
Like you're fighting now the best dude from the regions, from everywhere, or world champions from that side or whatever, you know. So that was kind of scary for me. So winning the Contenders was like, okay, I am ready.
Where do you think the best fighters in the world come out of right now?
Santa Ana.
Who's on top?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll definitely say Santa Ana.
Oh
But
yeah.
I think right now in MMA, it's you've seen like a little trend. At first it was Brazil,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then it went to you know, American wrestling, and you know, it's kind of like overcycling. I don't know, maybe one day.
Dagestan's pretty
the Daggy
crazy.
take
You know,
over
Russians,
right now.
you know,
The
definitely.
Russians are just like all
They're
over
on.
the place right now.
Ankalaev, dude. That was a
The
crazy
Yeah.
memes
fight.
online of
Yeah.
send your kid to Dagestan 2 years. Have
Yeah,
you guys seen them?
Yeah, would you ever send your kid to Dagestan to train?
No.
No. No.
Bro, nah. Send them to
Send him to
Bloodline.
Santa Ana.
Yeah,
What's his name? The jiu-jitsu guy, Felipe. He's cool.
Professor Felipe.
That guy's a beast.
Dude, he's like,
You send Zach in there for a week. He'll
Fuck.
come bruised up.
I'd be broken.
he trains every single day.
He's a
And, like,
beast.
like 2 or 3 times a day.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And he fasts. Like he'll have like a crazy workout and beat me up, beat Doug and Cub and
See, I don't know
like,
how you stay
everybody.
healthy like that, dude. Oh my
And then he's
god.
all like, "Yeah, I've been fasting for like 24 hours," and I'm like, "What?"
the fuck?
Dude, his
He's got
his,
no
uh,
fuel.
his locker room's pretty cool too.
Yeah.
That thing's nuts. He has like photos, all those photos of everyone on
Oh
there.
yeah, of all the fighters they've given.
Yeah.
Dude, he's cornered so many guys. TJ.
Everyone's in
Azrak.
that locker room.
He's been through.
Yeah.
I've been
bunch
in
of
that
fighters.
locker room.
Yeah, well,
I trained
He didn't get
No, you
grappled.
didn't.
on a Saturday.
no, you.
Hey guys, yes, I'm on a private jet, and none of this would be possible without our sponsor Zill Media. If you need any social media or any content done, or even start a podcast like ours, they are the best in the business. Go to zillmedia.com and mention Basement Talk for a discount on their services. Now let's get back to the episode.
Let's get off this fake jet. Go get back to the episde.
No, dude, listen. Let me say something though. I don't know. Maybe I will leave this in. Some, dude, you're in a crazy like position in life. Like you're doing something not normal people do, and I don't want to say I'm in that same thing, but we're not doing a normal job, right? So if your significant other, or even a friend or anyone doesn't understand that, like it's not gonna work,
Yeah.
right? So like, you know,
No, I
that's-
feel you, dude. That's the one thing that I'm always referring to Cub, because me and him are I feel like we've been pretty like close friends for a long time, and because he's also 15 years. He's the same age as my brothers. I feel like we see each other as like brothers. But he told me when I was getting into the UFC, he told me like, people are gonna tell you that you changed because you don't want to hang out because you're worried about training, or you don't want to, take a day to go drink with them or just go watch a fight with them or just do something for them, and they're gonna get pissed. He's all like, and they're gonna say stuff like, "Oh, you changed," like now that you're a UFC star, or they just make it as a joke constantly, like, "Oh, UFC guy, you're a big UFC guy, you don't want to hang out," and you're like, he told me, he's like, well, those people, it's not you that changed, it's them. They changed because of where you're at now. So they treat you differently. He's all like, them changing is what you're going to notice, and just see that and take it for what it is.
That's true.
But he prepared me, and I noticed it, and I'm like,
it did happen?
It happens so much. It still happens.
And you know
where
what, dude? Being on a mission like you are, and like anyone could be, like, some stuff could take you away from that quick. You gotta lock in.
Can't get too wrapped up in all that
stuff. You get distracted very easily, and like, I catch myself in little things sometimes. Like,
but
yeah,
bitches ain't shit.
Fuck it, I'm leaving it in, dude. I don't even know. It's sketch, but nah, dude, that's real.
Well, they can't understand because they're not in that same, like, and they're not in your same shoes,
Yeah.
They're not doing something extraordinary where they're like, whatever I'm doing is going to change my life, like, drastically, or whatever. Like, for me, fighting, a lot of my friends are the type of guys that, I could have done this, I could have been this person, I could have, gone to college and done all that. And I'm like, okay, well, I didn't want to say that, so I went and did it. Like, I don't want to be saying that.
They can't understand.
Yeah.
How was your personality though? Like, forget about the fighting. Like, not even as a student, but always, like, how was your personality growing up? Were you always like, okay, I'm gonna go do it, and I'm gonna do it? Were you always motivated, like self motivated?
I guess I was self motivated because I've always felt like I was a good fighter, regardless if I was even doing MMA at the time or not. But I've always felt like I was a good fighter. So anything that I wanted to do, that was like a sport, I feel like I'm gifted, so I could do it. Like, I just felt confident in that sense, where I'm like, I could do it. Like, it's not that complicated. Even just wrestling other guys that were heavier than me, I liked it. I wanted to prove that I could do it. So, unless somebody was proving me wrong, then I definitely was it would poke my ego, and then I would be trying to get better at it. So, but I felt like that was more my personality, me just trying to be better.
That's amazing.
You feel like you got more humble once you started training?
Yeah, but then it will go away.
Yeah.
I'll get humble for a little bit, and then it will go away. Like Juan, I remember one of the first times before I was even an amateur, Juan kicked my ass pretty bad, and it wasn't like the type of like beatings where he's just like, I'm like bloody and stuff. He was suffocating me with his shirt, like taking me down, choking me out, like crucifying me,
just like bullying you,
just bullying me, and like me tapping and like, okay, I'm done. And him like, nope, I'm gonna keep doing this to you because like you can't do anything about it. And I'm like, you
that's
dick.
defeating.
Dude, that's
Watch when I
brutal.
get a little bit older,
Yeah,
like,
that's wild.
Now what?
Nah, he can't do that shit.
Talking shit.
We talked about that in the beginning though a little bit. I mean, dude, I think you have to have an ego to
have to have
get to the
ego,
top.
confidence.
You have to be confident for sure.
But like,
because it's
that
a part
could be
of your
considered
drive.
ego too.
I feel like.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like Sean O'Malley, Conor McGregor, like a certain amount of their ego is like what we like about them,
Yeah.
But too much of like how Conor is, it's like, okay, bro, chill
It
out.
rubs you the wrong
like,
way.
You don't gotta be punching old people, or some shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, dude, that was crazy.
I think he's done. He's not gonna.
Of course he's
I
not.
don't see anything.
You know what? They entertain it too. I realized just to keep
people
Yeah,
interested.
dude. It's all,
Yeah,
I don't-
for sure.
You think
Yeah.
so?
Of course.
I think so.
I don't know
100%.
if Dana would.
Maybe
do
he
that.
was gonna come back, but then he's like, yeah, I got a
I think his life
$1
stuff got
and
so messy.
Why would I get
Doesn't he
him
want
the
to do
head?
bare knuckle?
He owns it.
But
B-
doesn't he want to?
BKFC.
Yeah,
I
doesn't
don't-
he want to?
Bro, he get
fight.
I
think he
do
get
not
fucked up.
understand why that guy would do it. Like he
You
should
would
just-
be so good at bare knuckle. Oh
I
my
wouldn't want to
god.
do it.
You wouldn't,
I
don't,
wouldn't
don't.
want
But
to.
you
No,
would be
don't
good
do
at
No,
it.
that,
it's too
but-
gnarly, dude.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
No.
There's
You
no
would be
longevity
good.
in that.
It's not. And you know what?
I think boxing's more dangerous though.
for sure.
Yeah.
But you get paid more though.
Yeah.
So,
True.
yeah.
I don't know if it's a fair exchange, but better than bare
That
knuckle.
money jump from LFA to UFC must have been really nice.
Yeah, dude, fighting in the regional sucks.
Yeah.
Like,
It's a
you're
tough
you're
spot.
definitely not. If you're an MMA fighter, you're not fighting for money.
For sure.
Like you're not until you make it to the leagues and you're like, okay, I could fight for money, and that should be like part of a motivation. But before that, you got to be really doing it because you want to be the best. You know.
Was it a
and-
weird feeling though, getting your first check from the UFC? Where you're like, oh my gosh, like this is crazy that I can make money like this fighting in the UFC?
Yeah, it was crazy for
Pretty
me.
wild. I bet.
is wild.
Because it's just your dream too.
Yeah.
How many untrained Zacks could you take in a fight running at you?
Yeah. Well, just me. I'm untrained.
How many?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just they're straight running at you like this, just want to fuck
Zach's
you up. Like how
scrappy,
many could you
though.
take at a time?
Yeah, but I think like I don't know if 3 could even
Street
do it.
fight?
Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, street
anything.
fight.
In the
Like
octagon?
realistic, like they're running at you and you're like, okay, I
Hey,
gotta like do
my
something.
flying
And
knee
it's
is pretty
Zach.
gnarly. I gotta say.
Do I have like free range,
Yes.
Yeah.
or is it like
We're
a
we're,
room like
we're in a
this?
You
parking
can grab
lot.
like that mic over there and slap him in the head. Like
No parking lot, no objects.
Okay, parking lot. I think maybe like 8.
That's a lot. I think
imagine 8 people.
that would actually be crazy.
I think you could too.
Yeah.
8's like a
Fuck.
valid
Bro,
number.
you can knock 10 of me or more, 20.
No, he'd fuck us all up right now.
No, it just
sure.
takes one takedown. Then I just start kicking. If there was 8 of me, but still, I don't
He's
know.
still trying to
Fuck.
No, I thought about it. I'm like, I don't think he could take me down. But
Yeah, no.
You're like 8.
My
because
God, game
we've
isn't
done
good.
we've done this with Cub where we've got
You guys all ran across.
three amateur guys.
Yeah.
3 amateur guys try to take me down and like spar with me.
No way.
Yeah,
That's
and,
cool.
and they're trained, you know. So,
Oh,
No, yeah.
fuck.
so they're 3 amateur guys, and
Maybe
they're about
8
my
isn't
weight.
so far fetched.
So and I'm like, they couldn't even take me down. So I'm like,
That's crazy.
I'm like,
What?
maybe 8 of them. I could
Oh,
fight.
that's good math.
I guess that's a
man.
fair number.
By the way, all 8 Zacks are gonna pull guard.
No, no, I'm not.
definitely.
Yeah,
I do
you
more
just
than-
whack them. Kick them and whack
Or
them,
kicking 'em
especially
all
in
in the
street
nuts.
I just stay on the outside.
Yeah.
I'd bob and weave. I don't know. Fuck.
Nah, dude.
I'd get
That's
fucked
wild.
up.
You
There's a
gas after 30 seconds.
yeah. Realistically, that's what's gonna happen. There's a pretty good featherweight fight coming up. I want to know who you got between Volk and
Don
Lopez.
Diego's. I think maybe Lopez.
Yeah,
I think Lopez.
he's on a hot streak, bro. He's doing really good.
That's in Miami.
Yeah,
What weight class are they?
45.
That's
What?
the 12th.
That Lopez looks like he walks heavier.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's
big.
pretty big.
He'd be-
I
What
feel
about weight cuts for you? How what's the hardest weight cut been for you?
Well, it wasn't this last one, but my previous one, my UFC debut. It was my hardest weight cut. I missed by 2 pounds. Which ironic because my last opponent missed weight by 2 pounds. So,
Oh no way.
yeah. So.
That sucks.
I remember that now. I think I remember that when we were. That sucks, dude.
Yeah.
What's your best trick for like cutting weight? Like chewing on ice? What is it?
Is that a thing?
Nice.
Yeah.
Never heard about
like,
that.
Like from cutting weight.
Yeah.
I
That's what
like
people do to
keeping
keep
I
their
like
water weight
keeping
down.
my head cool. So they bring a lot of ice bags, and it's the only way I could keep doing it, or else
Yeah.
I fucking freak out.
Your head goes
Ah,
crazy.
I go crazy. I start like almost about passing out.
Yeah.
Do you have a certain like ritual or superstitious thing you do before the fight that no one maybe knows about?
Yeah.
Maybe for a reason, I don't know.
Yeah, my mom is mainly superstitious. She does like a little egg cleanse.
Oh, okay.
Whoa.
Like
Our mom is too, me and
yeah.
Kobe.
Yeah, she's
she'll do
super
some weird stuff
superstitious.
sometimes. But
Yeah.
she does it so just to, like she thinks it gets any like bad vibes away from me, and like does some
Protects you.
sage stuff.
is it like an open egg?
Dude,
or
my
just
mom
like,
does.
No, it's like a pretty organic egg that she gets from a hen, and then she uses it like the whole
Free
thing.
That shit's real, dude.
And then she cracks it
it's
inside
real.
of a water,
It's real.
Yeah.
and then whatever, like however it comes up, it's like whatever has meaning.
It's trippy.
Hasn't? I feel like that's how.
Shit.
Yeah. I feel
That
like
stuff
we've had
works,
that
man.
happen, Yeah.
I mean, if it's more of a peace of mind for her.
Yeah, it helps
You know?
her feel better.
So
Yeah.
I don't know if I really believe in it. Maybe I do because I let it happen. So I'm like,
Keep your
I'm
mind
like,
chilled
hey,
out.
just in case.
Hey, if it's working, if
Just
it's
in
working,
case.
just keep doing it.
Yeah, keep
Like,
doing it.
Might as well.
I don't know, but just in case.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
literally.
good.
Dude, we're super grateful to have you.
Yeah,
Thank
it's
you.
been a long time coming.
Yeah, dude.
Appreciate you
And
guys.
I hope you come on more.
Oh, yeah.
You come on more
Hey,
shows.
3 more fights this year. Let's
Yes.
get you, dude.
Top
more.
15.
You'll be
No,
there.
you will. You're gonna be
You're
there, bro.
gonna.
I'm excited. You're
100%.
one of my favorite fighters to watch.
Thank you, man.
I'm really happy that we've gotten to know you and your whole team like on a more friendship level. So we love you, dude. We're gonna be supporting you. Anything you need from us here, thank you. Everybody watching, follow this guy.
Big things coming.
Okay, everyone. I know all you guys have your phones. They're all on your laps or they're next to you on the couch or whatever you're doing. Pull it out. Follow him. Take a minute out of your time. Type him in. Follow him. Subscribe.
It's in the description.
Like. Follow Kyler. Follow Zach.
No, you don't need to follow me. It's okay.
Follow Danny though. That's
follow Danny.
we want that. Follow Bloodline. But thank
Exciting
you guys
stuff
so
coming.
much for watching.
Gable grip.
There we go. You got a little. Monty always gets a little shout out.
Don't be afraid to spam them.
Spam them. But yeah, thank
Especially
you,
dudes.
dude. Thank you so much for coming on,
Thank
bro.
you, guys. I
Yeah, we
it.
appreciate you, bro.
And then if there's any like last words though that you want to say to your fans or your family or anyone watching.
Well, I just want to say thank you to everybody that supported me. Thank you guys for having a good friendship with us and Bloodline. Yeah, let's get this top 15 by the end of the year.
100%. Let's go,
We
baby.
said it. Let's go.
Subscribe. Peace.
Subscribe, like,
Peace.
bye. Later.